Heyo, everybody. Welcome. We are going to be doing a tier list of the Gen 1 Pokemon. So, simple enough, right? We got the starters here. We got everybody's favorite shit. Every Gen 1er's favorite stuff. And honestly, some of my favorites too. From memes such as Muck here, or Ekans, or Arbok, you know? Like, hey, did you know that it's snake smelled back? You know, Diglett, the Poliwrath line, a bunch of stuff. So let's just start with number one, good old Bulbasaur. Look at that cute little guy. I'll be straight, this is going to be a personal tier list, so we're not doing it on, like, this is the way it is. In the game that it's in, it's pretty good. But I think it is just B tier. I think it's just B tier. He's a cute little guy, but I feel like every other grass starter is like a lot cooler than him. Except maybe like Meganium, but you know, it's Gen 2. Anyway, all right, so that's B. Ivysaur gets a little older, a little smugger. I'm gonna put Ivysaur in A. And then we get to the stoner burnout Venusaur here. I think I'll put him in B. Because he just don't look great. He's not the greatest design I've ever seen. He's very large. He's large and in charge. So we got Charmander here. S, might be showing some bias here. Charmeleon, hilariously enough, D. I think this is like one of the silliest looking like evolutions. Because, like, why does he change color for no fucking reason? Right? He's orange here. Why does he randomly turn deep red? It's nice for, like, Metal Claws and stuff like that, but, I mean, overall, it's a meh mid-tier evolution. So we got Charizard here. I don't think I really need to say much more than that. Stat-wise, or type-wise, he's not very good in the Gen 1 games. He doesn't have a lot of enemies he's strong against, but he is... Fire is very helpful to have early game, especially in Kanto, because you don't really have a plethora of them at the front. So it's nice to have, because you can get like a Bellsprout pretty early, or even a Magikarp Gyarados as soon as Mount Moon if you're desperate enough. All right, let's go on to Squirtle here. Squirtle, that's an A tier. If it was the Squirtle with the sunglasses, it would be better, but it's all right. We can't force things. Wartortle, he's not as bad in my opinion as Charmeleon, but I do question the design. It has the most questionable design philosophy, in my opinion. Why does he have wings? Why does he have feather? It just doesn't make sense. It makes me think of like a Koopa from Mario, and that's not what we're here for. Speaking of a Koopa from Mario, except this time with guns. Here comes Blastoise. I'm a bit of a sucker for Blastoise, so I think we're going to put Blastoise in high A tier. All right. Now we get to the Bugmon. Caterpie, he's getting to B strictly out of cuteness. Look at him. He just wants a hug. You're going to tell that guy no? Come on, man. All right. Similar vein, Metapod. D tier instantly, because good lord, I just can't get behind it. I don't like, he's watching me with that fucking eye. He's just kind of laying there menacingly. I don't like it. Butterfree is pretty cool. I think I'll give Butterfree about the same as Caterpie. He's just a neat little dude. All right, here we go. Weedle. Poison Point is the cause of many Nuzlocke deaths for me, because I'm very bad at remembering to buy antidotes. I know that's a user issue, I'm aware, but still, we will put him. Where do we want to put him? I think we'll put Weedle in C tier. Kakuna is going to go in C tier as well. And Beedrill, or for all my friends who know him, Big Dick B, he's going to go here in B tier. So then we get to the Pidgey line. We got Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgeot. So Pidgey can be found on like Route 1, very common. I'll give Pidgey a C. It's a bird. It's just a bird. It's a good design, don't get me wrong. But it's not Pidgeotto, you know? Man, I love me some Pidgeotto. That something about the curled back hair before it gets like as crazy as Pidgeot's does. It really does it for me. So I think we're gonna put Pidgeotto in A, and then we'll put Pidgeot in C. But we'll put him in front of the bugs because I honestly I like flying types pretty hard. Rattata. Canonically the only Pokemon that dies. Just kidding. That's just a reference to Blue's Rattata when you fight him in the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town. He mysteriously doesn't have his Rattata, and why is he there? It's because he's mourning it. It's a neat little fan theory. All right. So we'll throw Rattata. We'll probably put him in C because he's iconic, I feel. I just like the way he looks. I don't have a lot to say about Rattata. Raticate, pretty solid. It's often becomes a boxed mon just because of the way he is. But honestly, design-wise, it's a little lower. So I think we'll put him above Rattata, but not better than. Excuse me. All right, now we're going on to Spearow. Spearow and Fearow, I don't often use these, believe it or not. I usually put those two in here. I just haven't used them too much to have an opinion. So, you know what? That might be unfair. Let's put them in C. All right. Ekans and Arbok. Meme potential for Ekans and Arbok is massive, and so much of that is what I am about. However, how does this yellow ring transform into this? Does the yellow ring split in half and become two eyes? That doesn't work for me. Other than that, it's cute. It's a cute little dude. Pikachu. All right, let's just be straight, guys. Pikachu is pretty bomb. I like me a Pikachu. I have a distaste for Raichus, just because of the Lieutenant Surges. But still a cute little guy. He's happy. He's reaching up. He's grabbing something. He's calling down the lightning if he can. I hope he can. We'll put him in A. He's cute, but he's nowhere near top tier in my opinion. Oh, look, we got Sandshrew. I feel like Sandshrew is a really cute Pokemon. We'll put Sandshrew in B. And we'll put Sandslash in A. I really like the upgrade design. He gets porcupine spikes and claws. It's pretty cool. The Nido, the Nidoran female. We'll put the Nidoran female in C tier. We'll put the Nidoran male in B tier. And we're gonna follow that actually for the full evolution line of both of them. The reason being is that if you look at Nidoking, he looks like he's about to fuck something up. He really is. He looks fucking horrifying. And then if you look at Nidoqueen, she just looks soft. And why does her armor look like she's wearing a bathing suit? I think it's a little weird. Yeah. So, Nidoqueen, bleh. Nidoking, woo. Matter of fact, we might drop Nidoqueen down there because it's just rough. All right. Now to some Moonstone Pokemon. We got oh, they're gonna kill me. Is this this is Clefairy, yes, and this is Clefable. All right, so solid C tier. Clefable, also C tier. Just throughout my runs through Fire Red and Leaf Green, I've been put to sleep so many times. Also gonna be these guys by this pink Moonstone looking ass crew, and I'm tired of it. All right, now we got Vulpix and Ninetales. I love Vulpix. He is cute. He is adorable. I will put him above the bugs. He's just a good solid. Kind of looks like, it's like a really good design, and it looks like clouds are coming out of his tail. So the smoke screen move makes more sense for him because he has that. And also, when you evolve him, he turns into this really cool pseudo-legendary that I have used every time I have had a Blastoise on my team. Because obviously, if you pick Charmander, you're gonna You're going to take Charmander instead of a Ninetales. But now we move on to the D tier that is Zubat and the C tier that is Golbat. Once they get that third evolution, Pokemon entire species becomes worth it. But till then, I'm just not a big fan of Golbat's design. He looks a little silly. He looks like he has tripods for feet. Or, like, he just looks like he has skis for feet. It doesn't make sense. And also, every time they've confused you, poisoned you, etc., it's annoying. Alright, so now we got the Oddish line. So we got Oddish here. Oddish is pretty cute. No like gameplay issues really with Oddish. I usually pick fire, or I have a bird type that wipes them out pretty fast. We'll put Gloom in C, just because Gloom looks like she's having a bad day. And we'll put Vileplume up in A, because it's really a good type. It's a good Pokemon, and its signature move is pretty cool too. All right, one of the more darker Pokemons, Paris. Paris is cool. I like Paris. We'll put Paris and Parasect in B. Sad little fact here. These two little mushrooms on Paris, when it evolves, become this big mushroom. And these little eyes aren't his eyes anymore. They're the mushroom controlling him. So it's kind of dark. In happier news, but kind of uglier news, Venonat and Venomoth, I've never been too crazy about. The psychic typing in Venomoth is nice, so you know what? I'll put it above. He'll get above Venonat. How about that? All right. Let's see. And then we get Diglett, home of Diglett Cave. Everyone's simple answer for Lieutenant Surge, Diglett. We are going to put Diglett in B and then Dugtrio in C, because I really think that this is a cool design, but having it just be 3 more or 2 more, it's a weird design concept that they do for more than one Pokemon, as you'll see coming up here soon. Meowth, S tier. Persian, A tier. I like the pre-evolution better. It's a cooler design. Worse stats, but they both learn Payday, so what really matters, right? Psyduck is cool because he has anime potential. Well, not anime potential, but like references, you know, Sai and all that. I like Psyduck, but he is probably, in my opinion, one of the lower tier psychic types. So we will put Psyduck in C, and we'll put Golduck above him. Maybe over here with Venonat. Moth, I mean. Alright, Mankey. Simple fighting type. It's based off a pig monkey, I think. And it does frustration stuff. I really like Mankey, so we'll put his evolution in B. Fighting types are pretty solid. Fun fact of the day, Fighting, Dark, and what's the other one that affects fighting? Fighting, Dark, and Psychic was one of the last Pokemon interactions I learned. Because there's a lot of type differences in how the attacks affect each other. Anyway, I think this was a Fire Red exclusive, Arcanine, and Growlithe. Fun fact, once you evolve the Arcanine, or the Growlithe to the Arcanine can't learn any moves, and in my first playthrough, I evolved the Arcanine, and I was like, alright, let's look up when he gets Ember. He doesn't. He just doesn't. So he's going to get a B, and then Growlithe is going to get an A, because I think the line total is pretty good, but the fact that Arcanine doesn't learn any moves kind of sucks ass. Alright, when I was a kid, had a big thing for frogs. So obviously, this whole line here, Poliwrath, Poliwhirl, and Poliwag, big fan. Sadly, it took me a while to find the good or the super rod to be able to fish for it. So I didn't get one till basically the Elite Four in my first playthrough with my brother. So we're gonna throw Poliwag into. Poliwag's so cute. I'll put Poliwag into C. And then Poliwhirl will go into C. I mean, Poliwag into B. Poliwhirl into C, just because it's a little basic. And then Poliwrath is pretty neat because I think he gains like a fighting type secondary, which is dope. Man, Abra sucks. Catching an Abra sucks. Fighting an Abra is pretty nice, especially on like your rival's team. But yeah, so catching an Abra sucks. Kadabra. Fucking love Kadabra. Look at that spoon. He's about to demolish those Lucky Charms. He's not going to stand a chance. All right? Here, I'm just crunch. Okay. And then Alakazam, 2 spoons, busted special attack. Probably one of the most powerful Pokemon in this generation, minus like Mewtwo, you know? This was the perfect generation for him, and he really shined. And he really became, like, in the forefront of Pokemon for me. So when I think of Pokemon, I think Pikachu, I think Charizard, and I think Alakazam. That's just how I am. And I really like that. All right, back to this. We got Machop, Machamp, and Machoke. I was never able to get any of the trade evolutions, which sucked. So, obviously, Alakazam was a bit of a pipe dream for me, which is why Kadabra is so high right next to him. But is, as a fighting type, helpful against... rocks? Steel? A few others? Resistant to bug? They're neat. And, you know, they just kind of look like dudes that are kind of buff with their... fancy row hair, you know? So we'll throw Machamp into B. We'll throw Machoke into C because he just looks like a dude. And then I like this guy. He's got pizzazz. Look at that face. Look at that grin. I love it. Okay, now we get to the Bellsprout line. Bellsprout, Weeping Bell, and Victreebel. These are all based off of carnivoristic plants. So the pitcher plant, obviously. I really like Bellsprout. It's a good grass type to have, but I'd probably prefer Oddish. So I'll put the lower lines here, and then I'll put the Victreebel in B tier. Just because it's a little more powerful and it looks a little more menacing. All right. Some Pokemon I've actually never used before. Just never caught them, never thought to. I always liked the intro in the anime series when Tentacruel like destroyed all those buildings, but other than that, haven't really used them all that much. But water poison, I'm fucking everything up. Water poison is just meh, and they're the Zubats of the sea also because they're everywhere when you surf. All right, catch my breath here. Let's go. Geodude. I personally like Geodude. Putting Geodude in B. He's bulky. He's dense. Graveler. Worst design. Golem. B ahead of my boy. Okay, no, you can go here. There we go. There we go. That's a solid one. And once again, he would be higher, but when I was a kid, I didn't have access to trades. And I tend to play on emulators these days, so I don't have access to trades much, regardless. And the only modern Pokemon game I own is, like, Brilliant Diamond, which doesn't have much of an end game, so I tend to just do emulating stuff. All right, let's see. Ponyta and Rapidash. Pretty easy C tiers. They're all right, but nothing special, in my opinion. Slowbro and Slowking. A little denser than the Golduck line. So we'll throw Slowbro with Golduck, and we'll throw this guy with... Where's Psyduck? Where's Psyduck at? Here he is. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, continuing the trend of things just getting 3 of themselves. We got Magnemite, a steel lightning type, or electric. I'm a fan of Magnemite and Magneton, but Magnezone loses me. So we'll put Magnemite up in A. Magneton, my apologies. And Magnemite down in B. We got Farfetch'd. Easy D tier. Probably the worst flying type in this game. Unless we're counting, like, Butterfree and... Is Beedrill a flying type? No, Beedrill's just Poison Bug. Alright. A recent discovery for me on my most recent playthrough of Fire Red. Dodrio and Doduo. Solid Pokemon. Quality. Can take you to the Elite Four. Tri-Attack slaps really hard. On my last playthrough of Heart Gold, I actually had a Seel and a Dugong as well. Ice types, cute, very helpful against Dragon types before the introduction of Fairy type Pokemon. So we're going to put Seel in B and Dugong in A. Because just look at him. He's so happy. All right. Grimer and Muck. Grimer is D tier. Muck is D tier. They're just... It's just slime, guys. It's slime with eyes. I mean, you're going to find that really upsetting in a few minutes when I rate Ditto, but for now, it's slime with eyes that does nothing but corrupt. It's meh. All right. A Pokemon that never really gave me much of an issue. Cloyster and... Oh. Shellder. Yep, Shellder and Cloyster. This is Shellder. Shellder will go in C tier. Cloyster kind of looks kind of cool. It kind of does look like a vagina. We're not going to say it. It looks a little weird. That's all I'm saying. One of my favorite lines coming up is Ghastly's. Ghastly is awesome. I like Ghastly. I had a little cringe, like... Never mind. I love Ghastly so much. Haunter, also dope. And then Gengar, I heard a cool fan theory that, like, Gengar is just, like Clefable, but, like, that has died. Because it's, like, basically the same kind of shape with the pointy ears. And the hair's just messed up instead of the cute little curl. But it's just a fan theory. Onix goes in C tier. He's just kind of weak. He has good defenses, but he has nothing to make up for it. Drowsy, we're going to put him in C. Drowsy is a high defense psychic type. Matter of fact, we'll put him in B, actually. And then we'll put Hypno up in S. Because Hypno is one of my favorite Pokemon, just because of that cool little story where he, kidnaps the children and shit. And there's a whole, like, creepypasta about him. And I just loved it. Basically, it was... Hypno would go up to children and hypnotize them to follow him into the woods so he could bring them there and attack him. Which is a little spooky. Just a little spooky. Some Lavender Town sneaking in here. All right. Another Pokemon that I just recently used in a run that was pretty solid. Kingler. I was doing a Bulbasaur run. And Kingler was doing some work. We'll put Krabby in C tier because it's just a crab, And then Kingler can go up to B. But honestly, it's just a bigger crab. It's just a bigger crab, which is why it's on the bottom. Back to lazy evolutions. Voltorb and Electrode. Voltorb, steel electric, prone to blowing up. We'll put him in C tier. Electrode constantly blows up. Put him in D tier. He is the evolved form of him, and nothing's more frustrating than trying to catch one of these things, and it just keeps blowing up over and over and over again. By the way, down here, we're just further evolutions of the Pokemon that were added before, like, in Gen 6 or 8, I think. Okay, so then we got Execute and Executor. They're eggs that grow into a tree. I don't think it makes sense. That being said... B tier for both of them. Quality Pokemon, Psychic Grass, slaps. Sad line coming up here. Marowak and Cubone. Cubone, if you don't know, has been orphaned by its mother, Marowak, in the Pokemon Tower. And that's sad. We'll put Cubone in B, and then we'll put Marowak in B also. I haven't used them too much. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Forgive me if I'm mixing up the way those are. There, I forget. Uh, the punching one, it can learn every like special type punching move, but in Gen 3 they're all like special. And he doesn't have a lot of special attack because he's meant to use fighting type moves. So he can be in like B, and then he can be in like A. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Alright. We got Lickitung. No, Lickitung goes in D tier. We don't like Lickitung. It's nah, blah, blah. Alright. Coughing. Get a C. Wheezing is a cool evolution of Coughing. He can go into B. Rhydon. Rhyhorn, I mean. No, I think this is Rhydon, and then this is Rhyhorn. I'm a big fan of this one. Never really seen this one too much. Chansey. Very dense Pokemon. Throw that up in S. That's like up there with Snorlax in terms of defense. It's pretty solid. Tangela. Doesn't evolve into Tangrowth in this one, which is sad. But I still like it. Throw him in B. Probably one of the cooler grass types. More unique, not just a plant, you know? Kangaskhan? The Safari Zone sucks, so I don't really use him much, but he is very annoying to fight, so I'll put him up in A. You can go into C, little one. You can go into A, because holy cow. It's Horsey and... Is that Kingdra? No, Kingdra is the dragon type evolution in Heart Gold. Alright, so we got Goldeen and Seaking. D tier for her, and then C tier for her. Just not a big fan of that line. These are cool Pokemon, but this one has triggered me since the dawn of time because as someone who picks Charizard quite frequently, Misty does tend to beat the shit out of me when I get to the second gym if I haven't caught any Pokemon. And sometimes you don't want to catch every Pokemon, so you just want to blaze through the game a little bit with your starter, and then you hit the second gym, and then, you know, you just got Water Pulse, Confusion, Water Pulse, Crit Hit, you know, Recover, all that to deal with. And it's annoying, especially if you don't have one of these. All right. Moving on now to Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime is horrifying, but I do like Mr. Mime. He can go into B. Yeah. He watches you when you sleep. I don't like Mr. Mime. Big L on him. Scyther, probably the coolest bug type, but it's still a bug type in a generation that doesn't really get a lot of bug type moves. But on design alone, he does get to A. Just look at that. Looks lethal. That thing was charging at me and freaked the hell out. Jinx. Some interesting backstory. When she was first revealed, she had blackface, and the company had to completely change everything. So, that was neat. Because, yeah. We'll go B, just because she is Ice Psychic, and that's a pretty solid typing. Controversy aside, of course. Electabuzz. A fun Pokemon. Not exactly useful. Magmar. Right next to Electabuzz. I find these two's design to be kind of distasteful, actually. So let's put those down in C. Yeah, that sounds about right. Alright, we got Pinsir. I very rarely evolve the fossil Pokemon. But I do know that I like Pinsir more than I like Omastar. So we'll put him in C, and we'll put Omastar there. There we go. And we'll put him in... Oh, not in Megas, LOL. Okay, we should be good here. Oh, Kabuto. Right. And Kabutops. There we go. I do like him, though. Enough to put him in B, at least. Not really used. Tauros? No. Magikarp? Put him in B just because of the potential of the Gyarados. I can't say it. It's always struggled with it. Gyarados? Whatever you want to call it. That's what it is. Lapras. Perish Song memes. Good surf Pokemon. Solid. We'll put him in A. Ditto. I'm going to put that in A. This is what I was talking about, the sludge with eyes. But Ditto's mechanic turning you into a slightly weaker version of your opponent. If your team is not set up properly for a type, for instance, Dragon, and you have a Ditto at level like 55, you should be able to take on Lance in the Elite Four if you have like berries and everything. Maybe not level 55, might need to climb a little higher just because, you know, it is Ditto. He does have weaker stats. But his ability sometimes can, if you get a good one, will let you instantly transform into the Pokemon. So you don't even have to waste a turn. All right, Eevee. S. Just a cute evolution. Vaporeon. C tier. It's just a fish. It just has a fish body. I don't like it. Jolteon. A tier. Looks dope as hell. Flareon. Ooh. Flareon is just technically a fluffy red Eevee, but he is really cool. So we'll put him next to Arcanine. Porygon. Porygon's neat. Caused a lot of seizures in Japan back in the day when he was initially aired in the anime, but we'll put him in A for anime, lol. Snorlax. You already know that's an S tier. My boy never stops. He just keeps going. He snoozes. He sleep talks. Really cool ability there. Articuno, we're going to put probably in A because one of my more favorite legendary birds. Zapdos. You can go in B tier. Not a huge fan of Zapdos. He just kind of looks like, you know, pokey for no reason. And then Rubber Chicken Moltres goes into C tier. It's unfortunate, but I can't get the like rubber chicken toy out of my head every time I see him. Look at this, we're down to 5. We got Dratini, which solid Pokemon. I like Dratini. Let's put Dratini in B. Dragonair in A. And obviously Dragonite goes in S because holy crap, Dragon types back in the day. Oh, I fucked shit up. I really hope this isn't Kingdra, then I'd look like a damn fool. Alright, now pretty simple preference here. Mewtwo. I'm going to put Mewtwo in S because he's probably one of the stronger legendaries that exist. At least in this generation, obviously. He is just mean. He's got the speed, he's got the defense, he's got the attack. Just an all-around solid Pokemon. And that quote at the end of the Pokemon movie really makes you cry. Alright, and then finally we got Mew. A fun Pokemon, can learn literally every move in the game, and is kind of impish. We're going to put Mew in A. I have used Mew much less than Mewtwo, just due to it being like a mythical legendary that you can only get through like events. Or if you own a copy of Pokemon Red, you can just interact with. There's a way to do it. And it's funky, because Pokemon Red don't run red. But anyway, this is our final haul here. All 151. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Next. Let me think. There was an issue with my save file on the Pokemon Emerald Nuzlocke, and I do believe it is going to be corrupted, and I'm not going to be able to get it. So moving forward, we will be going along with a 2 different series, one of which will be a Pokemon Fire Red Nuzlocke, and another one will be a Professor Oak's challenge of Heart Gold Soul Silver. If you're excited for those, which I am, feel free to hit the like and the follow and all that. The Professor Oak's challenge, by the way, is simply before each badge, you have to catch and evolve to the fullest every Pokemon you can, which dramatically increases the time necessary to do so, but I will be speeding up the game, doing everything I can to make it a little more efficient. And of course, I'm not just going to give you VODs, I'm going to give you a little more cultured content, as we say. Alright guys, I hope None of these were too egregious. I'm sure people disagree, but let me know how you feel. Talk about your favorite Pokemon in the comment. Thank you. Talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.